Saquon Barkley should win the MVP race. And he should win it because he's sitting out the final regular season game in order to put the Philadelphia Eagles in a better position to have postseason success rather than chase Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record. I'm saying Saquon Barkley should win the MVP, not for what he's done on the field, but for what he's going to do this weekend off the field. This young man has put his ego to the side, has put his desire for accomplishments to the side, his individual goals to the side to do what's best for his team. I think this makes him the MVP of the National Football League. Listen, you've heard my argument. I've made it all week that Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley should be the two leading candidates for the MVP. And I have no problem with Josh Allen winning the MVP. I really don't have a problem if Lamar Jackson won the MVP. But I feel like the top two candidates in my mind are Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley. And I had Josh Allen slightly ahead. He's quarterback with the Buffalo Bills. They lose all their top weapons. Stephon Diggs leaves. I don't think they have Gabe Davis anymore. This guy has been a one-man army. But I think what Saquon Barkley's doing this weekend, coupled with the man has rushed for 2,000 yards. The Philadelphia Eagles are 13-3. This season, he's clearly the most important player on the Philadelphia Eagles. He's rushed for 2,000 yards. He's averaging 5.8 yards per carry. If he were averaging 6 yards a carry, I would definitely be over the top with it because that's the magical number that there's only been 4 running backs do that over a complete full season. Someone pointed out to me that Gale Sayers did it in a season where he only played 9 games. The guys that played a full season, Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, O.J. Simpson, and Jim Brown. Saquon, if he were to go nuts, if he were to play this weekend and went nuts, he'd had a chance at being close to 6 yards a carry, but he's already at 2,000 yards in 16 games. If he had an average game, got 100 yards, he would surpass Eric Dickerson's 2,105 yard standard. This could have value for Saquon Barkley for the rest of his life. Holding that record of, hey, I got the single season rushing record in the National Football League. That's something that has value for the rest of your life. We saw the video. We saw the story of Mark Gastineau 20, 30 years later being upset because Brett Favre surrendered a sack to Michael Strahan that prevented Mark Gastineau from continuing to hold that record of the all-time NFL sacks lead. And Mark Gastineau can't let it go 30 years later. He confronted Brett Favre about it. And I get Mark Gastineau played in an era where guys didn't make generational wealth, but those records, that distinction of being the sack king or the rushing king, it has great value. Eric Dickerson, in a moment of transparency, said, look, I really don't want Saquon to break this record. I want to still hold it. Eric Dickerson wants that distinction. Hey, I got the NFL rushing record. Saquon Barkley, in a true show of leadership, sportsmanship, putting the team ahead of the individual, we just don't see this anymore. That makes Saquon Barkley my MVP. It really does. And I really wish and hope that voters take it into account what this man just sacrificed for his team. When you start talking about value to a team, that type of leadership, and we've seen Saquon Barkley previously have a chance at an individual one-game rushing record. It's like, nah, man, let them other guys eat. I'm good. This is part of this man's character. It has value. He's setting a tone for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not personally an Eagles fan, but I'll be rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles during the postseason. I want this rewarded. They can't change their playoff seeding in week 17 or week 18 or whatever it is, the final week of the season. They can't, and so there's no reason for him to play other than individual accomplishment. He, Nick Sirianni, and the organization made a decision. Protecting his health is more important. Hey, let's do what's best for the team rather than Sequin Barkley.
PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks.
You gotta love this. You have to love this. And this type of behavior needs to be rewarded. And this isn't about, hey, this is a very close race. Between Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Saquon Barkley. All of them have legitimate cases. No one would get robbed here if people said, you know what? I don't know if anybody has made more of a sacrifice for their team than Saquon Barkley. This man could go out and set an all-time record. Yes, it would be in 17 games, and Eric Dickerson did it in 16. But when Eric Dickerson broke O.J. Simpson's record, he did it in 15 games. He ended up playing 16, but he broke O.J.'s 2003 record, 2003 yards record. He did it in 15 games. So if it takes Saquon one more game than it took Dickerson or to surpass Dickerson's record, that's how Eric Dickerson got the record. But we just don't see athletes in this modern era. What we see them doing now is stat padding. What we see them doing now is trying to set these individual records at levels. Again, most people believe, like LeBron James, that's the only reason why he's still playing in the NBA, is because they've made it so easy to play that the game's physicality has been eliminated, and it's so much easier to play that he's continuing to play, and he's continuing to put up all these incredible stats because they've made it easier to do so, and now he can put even more distance between himself and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and anybody else, and that's going to be his case for, hey, I'm the greatest player of all time, because look at the stats. Look at all the records I have as opposed to everybody else. Saquon Barkley is going the other direction. He's not doing what's in his best financial interest, what's in his best interest for his reputation. He's doing what's best for his football team. Hand that man the MVP trophy. He's earned it. Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.